Okay.
Okay, so we're going to talk about reopening CFC Children's Church. We're going to go over the health guidelines as well as some layout for where we're going to put them, as well as what we're going to do for content, like curriculum, videos, and whatnot as well. So I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to do this one. Okay. Oh, where is it? Oh, here it is. Okay. So, Miss Deanna, can you see that?
Yep.
All right, beautiful. So I'm just going to read.
Although it's cut off halfway
Oh,
across. Can you widen it?
no, that's as wide as I can get it. This is actually the wrong one, though. Let me pull the other
Oh,
one up. This is the one I want. Okay.
yeah, that's better. Oh,
Okay, so I'm just going to read through it, and then if you see something that is unclear, we'll talk about it. And then I have a quick layout that we
it's
can go
not
over.
there now. There
All
it
right, it
is.
should be.
Okay. Oh, no,
I think it's there.
no, I can't see it.
And I think that's just on your part.
It like flashes and then it stops. Okay. Is this the letter? Christian Fellowships CC staff, all CC staff will work diligently?
Yeah, so I'm going to read
Okay.
through it, and then we'll talk about it. All
Okay.
right. All CC staff will work diligently to ensure that social distancing is maintained through the course of the participants' day to the greatest extent possible. All staff will be masked during working or participant hours to ensure the safety of all those in attendance. The only exception to this will be during meals, at which time the mask will be removed, and so during snack time. This
Yeah.
was taken from the daycare, not the daycare, but the
New
girls
Bedford.
program they do in the
Yeah.
summer because it's
Yeah.
already tailored to our building, so we piggybacked out off of theirs. All right, supplies. All the supplies or equipment that each participant uses will be individually assigned and stored in individual containers for the sole use of the person they are assigned to. So if we do crafts with the kids, what that means is we'll have a Ziploc bag with their name on it. That way they always use the same stuff and there's no mixed germs. They'll be always using their own stuff. Sanitation. All high-touch surfaces will be sanitized throughout the day as well as at the end of each day's completion. All families, staff, and participants will be informed of their need to not come to program if they are feeling ill with symptoms that include fever above 100.4 or above, cough, sore throat, difficult breathing, gastrointestinal symptoms, diarrhea, nausea, vomiting, fatigue, and headache, new loss, smell or taste, new muscle aches, or any other signs of illness. If they've been in contact with someone who is ill or COVID positive in the last 14 days or has been out of the state or country in the past 2 weeks. Okay,
Can I
so
interrupt? Can I
yes,
interrupt?
yes,
Go back to the fever. You're gonna take their temperatures, right?
yes.
Yeah, okay. Because I know you had said that.
Yep. So we're gonna get a one of those laser temperature things.
Yeah,
All right, so for participants, in keeping with the guidelines for the reopening of Massachusetts houses of worship, all restriction include the 100-person limit will be strictly enforced. So for Massachusetts with worship services or church services, there can only be 100 people in the building. That's for New Bedford especially. That's one of their laws. And so Children's Church is piggybacked into that church service limit. So we're right in between being a children's program and a church service. So we kind of have to follow both of the guidelines for that. So we just can't have more than 100 people in the building, including Children's Church. The program will attempt to maintain a 6-foot distance at all times and limit the contact between individuals and groups whenever possible. Participants and staff will be encouraged to not engage in hugging or touching of any kind in order to prevent the risk of COVID-19 by limiting regular and immediate contact. Only one person at a time will be allowed to use the bathroom, and all are expected to follow hand washing guidelines and other preventative hygiene measures. All participants will be masked prior to entering the program site. They will also have their temperature taken prior to entry.
Oh, yeah.
Parents and/or guardians must wait until their child's temperature check and screening is completed each morning before leaving the child at the program site. Anyone who has a temperature that is at or exceeds 100.4 will be denied access to the program site. Students arriving at the program should be brought down the main stairs into Burroughs Hall for check-in. Students will wait in properly distanced line that is set aside for social distancing. And so we're going to use our Kids Check program. The difference is that we're going to have somebody at the check-in station to take the ticket so that they can give it to the parent. That way one person grabs the ticket and not every single
Yeah.
person touches it.
Good
So
idea.
only one compared to 100. All right.
Including the laptop, right?
Yeah, including the laptop. And I'm going to encourage them using the app. That way it's really almost no touch.
Yeah.
Regular monitoring. Staff will actively visually monitor participants throughout the day for symptoms of any kind, including fever, cough, shortness of breath, diarrhea, nausea, and vomiting, and abdominal pain and unexplained rashes. Participants who appear ill or exhibiting signs of illness will be separated from the larger group and quarantined in a room designated for that purpose until they are able to safely exit the facility with a family member. If a participant or staff person tests positive for COVID-19, regardless of whether the person has symptoms or not, the participant and or staff person will not be permitted to enter the church and must finish the rest of the program via computer. Exposed individuals must be directed to stay at home for at least 14 days after the last day of contact with a person who is sick. The program manager will consult the Board of Health for guidance to quarantine for other participants and staff and what additional precautions will be needed to ensure the program space is safe for continued I forgot to change it right there.
Oh,
For
yeah.
continued children's church. So, isolation area. One of the smaller classrooms near the south side exit has been designated as the isolation room, where a student who falls ill during the program will wait until a family member can pick her up. Although the windows may be open to allow circulation of fresh air, the door to the larger main room will be kept shut to minimize contact with other program participants. Parents picking up a child who is ill should go to the south side door, the side where the entry driveway leads into the church parking lot. Okay, so the ISO room or the isolation room, that's going to be what's usually
It's
been
the
the prayer
prayer
room.
Yeah,
And
that's all set up.
it's all set up for it. There's
Yep.
2 pots, and what we're going to need is one person designated. It might be someone who is helping teach a class, so there's might be 2 teachers in a class with we might have one of them designated if that something happens that they'll leave their class and go and be in charge of the ISO room for that period of time until the parent picks them up. And the parents are going to pick them up immediately. So we're not going to wait till Sunday service is over. They got to come get them right away.
Mm-hmm.
All right, cleaning, sanitizing, and disinfecting after a potential exposure. The isolation area will be closed off to all other participants. The isolation room at the program site will have the window open to increase circulation in the room. The room will be disinfected at least, but not before 24 hours have passed since the possible exposure, and the program will have an alternate space if the need arises prior to the disinfection time constraint. Cleaning staff will clean and disinfect all areas such as bathrooms, common areas, shared equipment, and high-touch areas. If an exposed participant or staff subsequently test positive or their doctor says they have a confirmed or probable COVID-19, they must be directed to stay home for a minimum of 10 days from the first day of symptoms appearing and be fever-free for 72 hours without fever-reducing medications and experience significant improvements in symptoms. Release from isolation room is under the jurisdiction of the New Bedford Board of Health. All right, if a participant's household member of a staff's household member tests positive, staff must quarantine for 14 days after the last time they could have been exposed. If an exposed participant or staff remain asymptomatic and or test negative for COVID-19, if an exposed participant or staff person remains asymptomatic and or test negative for COVID-19, they must remain in quarantine and continue to monitor for 14 days. Students may continue to attend the program, but they will do it remotely via computer. So we'll probably have something set up for them to watch online as well if they can't come.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll also have probably a video of some lesson for them to see.
Mm-hmm.
Or we'll direct them to a good video that's already out there. Okay. So, symptomatic staff. All staff people will have their temperature taken at the beginning and at the end of their shift. If they show signs or symptoms, including fever of 100.4 or above, or any cough, sore throat, difficulty breathing, gastrointestinal symptoms, diarrhea, nausea, vomiting, fatigue, headache, new loss of smell, taste, new muscle aches, or any other signs of illness, will be referred to seek the guidance of their physician and not return without a clearance from their physician.
Should check to make sure no one's trying to join because I wasn't even know.
Let me make sure that no one's joining. Nope. Okay. I'll keep that off. Actually, I'll just make that go away. Okay. So, decontamination. All right, we're almost at the end of this thing. Decontamination. Facilities will be decontaminated at the beginning of the day, the end of the day, and throughout the day. If a student requires the use of the isolation room, the room will be decontaminated and sanitized 24 hours after use. So for the ISO room, we wait 24 hours just so that any airborne bacteria or whatever it's called, viruses, are settled before we start working in there. So hygiene and health practices. The program will have adequate supplies to promote frequent and effective hygiene behavior. There are hand washing facilities on the premises and hand sanitizers. Will be supplied to all participants. All participants and staff will sanitize their hands and be masked before the gaining to the facility. Hand sanitizer that is used is greater than 60% alcohol and is stored and maintained under staff supervision at all times. That's a great idea. So what we'll probably do is we have 15 in the church hand sanitizers that are that are screwed to the wall. But you know what? I'm also gonna buy all the little bottles. I'll buy a little bottle for every kid as well. That way they can keep it on them. Well, not for the little ones, but for those who we don't have to worry about because we don't want them.
You're gonna give it to each child?
I think so, yeah. Or we're gonna give it to each teacher.
Yeah, I don't know. Some of the little ones, they may just keep using it and using it and using it.
Yeah, not the little ones.
want 'em-
Maybe like
yeah.
3rd and 4th and 5th and 6th or something. But yeah, the preschoolers are not gonna give them a hand sanitizer.
You could do the little pump ones, to have a couple of those, for
yeah,
them.
maybe we'll put one on every table.
Yeah, that might be
Then
good.
that's what we'll do.
Or maybe outside of every classroom.
Outside of every classroom too, but they're outside in the hall too.
So I'm
But-
saying
Yeah, but there's only 2 in the hall. Well, no, there's
3, I
more
think.
than 2. Yeah,
Maybe
but there's
4.
2 on those pillars.
Yeah. So we'll make sure there's plenty. We'll get a couple more.
Mm-hmm.
Hand washing. Participants and staff must wash their hands or use hand sanitizer often, making sure to wash all surfaces of their hands, front, back, wrist, between the fingers. The need for hand washing for at least 20 seconds will be emphasized. Hand washing will occur before entering the program space, when coming in from the outside activities, before and after eating, after sneezing, coughing, or nose blowing, after using the bathroom, before handling food, after touching or cleaning surfaces that may be contaminated, after contact with a face mask, and before and after changing gloves. So we're going to wash our hands a lot.
Mm-hmm.
A lot. So
Yeah.
personal protective equipment, otherwise known as PPE. All staff will be provided with ample personal protective equipment, which includes masks, gloves, and sanitizer. Staff will supply participants with masks and instruct them to keep them on until after they have left the site. Participants are encouraged not to remove the mask except for when eating. Each student will receive one mask, which should be washed between uses so that each student has a fresh, clean mask every Sunday. So
That you won't need though, because are you going to use the disposable ones?
you know what? I thought about buying our own, but
disposable.
But I'll probably buy the disposable ones instead. That way we have them there, and I'm sure they'll bring their own.
Yeah.
But if they don't have one, we'll have one for them. All right,
Sunday needs a
supplies.
capital letter.
Sorry. Supplies. In addition to
Minus 2.
PPE, staff will have ample cleaning equipment, spray sanitizer, disinfecting wipes, and paper towels. All right,
It's just in the
documentation.
classrooms. The supplies are very soon.
Yeah, they're going to be in the classrooms. We'll have them in boxes as well. And we also have the closet that's right there. So we'll have tons of stuff. We already have tons of stuff to use.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Documentation. The health coordinator will maintain a temperature log where they will record each participant's name and temperature prior to arrival, departure at the end of the day, and staff will take daily attendance of participants. The documentation will be kept for 1 month as recommended by the New Bedford Health Department. In the event that one of the participants tests positive for COVID-19, the program staff will contact the Department of Community Service and Health Department and will follow city protocols for notifying all potentially exposed members of the community. There is no provided transportation, so we don't have to worry about that.
Mm-hmm.
And then also, I'm going to send on a video that's going to cover all of these topics. Proper hand washing, proper disinfecting techniques, material safety data sheets for chemical use, data taking and documentation of temperatures with a temporal thermometer, wearing masks and other protective equipment, transportation procedures following include transportation protocols. So we don't really need that one as much at all. And safety and food preparation, you don't really need that either, but we
No.
do need physical distancing. And then at the end, you'll be able to sign that. And I'm going to send that training out. It's a 1-hour video, I believe. And so that shouldn't be too bad.
Is that like the waiver the parents have to sign to say we can do that? Like, is the waiver separate from that?
This is a waiver for any staff, any leader or caretaker in Children's Church. So this
Okay.
is for all of
Do
them.
we need the parents' permission to take temperatures and document it? Like, do they have to sign something to say we can?
Well,
do
when
that?
they come in, that's what I'm going to talk about. When they come in, there's going to be a list of questions. These are the questions for that. Right here. So when they come in, we're going to say, have you been feeling ill with symptoms to include fever, temperature, and all that stuff? Have you been in contact with someone? Have you been out of the state or country in the past 2 weeks? So the parents can be right there while we do this. And we're going to take their temperature while they're standing right in front of us with the
And
parents.
then when you take the temperature, then for that thing near, well, the information near the end of this page, we should have a logbook so that as soon as they come in, have them, sign in, or we sign their name, whoever's in charge of it.
Yeah.
Put the temperature down, and then that way, like it says, in case somebody does have it,
Yeah.
we'll know like who's been in contact
Yeah.
with them that day, the date.
Definitely. There's actually a sheet of paper that we'll be using for each child. There's they each have an individual piece of paper that the person asking these questions will have,
Yeah.
and they'll check off each box for each thing and then write down their temperature, and so that
The date.
it'll all be very well documented.
Yeah,
And then we can-
right, and the date, because the date will be important
Yeah.
as well.
All right, cool. So I'm going to stop sharing this one, and then I'm going to grab actually I might have it right here.
Did anyone else join us?
I don't believe so.
No kidding.
No. That's okay, because this is going to YouTube.
Yep.
All right. Let me grab this. Oh, this is the big one. This is much more detailed. I can send this to anyone who needs that as well. That's the one I started making. Okay. Here's a good one. Okay. So this is more of the practical stuff of how we're going to do things. That's the general health precautions that we're taking, but this is how we're going to set it up. Well, at least this is my idea, and then we can change it as much as we need to make it practical and work. So
The whole screen isn't showing though, Sam.
Oh,
Because all I can see is it says, no, now it's you and me.
I know, I gotcha.
Okay.
Get this going. Thank you for telling me. All right. You should have it now.
It says Children's Church Sunday morning layout.
Yep. So, I just kind of made it into sections. So I talk about check-in, nursery, then I do pre-K, which is a little different, and then K through 6 I have down here under those grades. And then when they leave, I have a little thing there, and then I need people for that, and then I drew a map, which is sad, but will work. Okay. So check-in. Parents come down the main stairs, their usual stairs. They can come down the elevator as well, but there can only be one family at a time or 2 people who aren't family on the opposite sides of the elevator. But so they'll come down the main stairs. They will wait in a line, and then they'll sign in through their phone for kid check, and their tag will be given to them. Then they can bring their child to their designated area. And before they bring their child to the designated area, there will also be a table we'll have somebody who's designated as the question asker, like the health. They'll ask all those questions and sign that sheet. So we'll have a table set up there as well while they're waiting before they get to the check-in. So that's the check-in right there. And then for nursery, we're gonna have a max of 8 children just for that room. It's not very big, and we can't have more than 8 children with 2 workers. So the room will be set up to maximize social distancing. So we'll change the layout to some extent. We'll get rid of any toys which can't be easily washed. And all the remaining toys will be washed after each Sunday. So we'll have like 2 buckets of water. One, I think it's like 4-part, I don't know, certain amount of bleach, but we'll look up the guidelines for that. But we'll have a washing station right afterwards, so we can just wash those toys real quick. We can dunk them in the water with the bleach and clean them up. And also, for children under 2 years old, they should not be wearing a mask. Definitely cannot be wearing a mask. But after 2 years old, they recommend wearing a mask at the child and the parent's discretion. So, but again, nursery, that's something that we're really going to have to fine tune with some of the nursery work caretakers, because they know it more than me. They know what works best, and so we'll figure out a plan to make that happen. So pre-K, we're gonna keep them in their regular room right here. I'm thinking, and if there's too many pre-K, then we'll usually have 2 teachers with them. We'll split them up, and they'll some will be in the kindergarten room, some will be in the pre-K room, if we have to for social distancing. But I figured it'd be good for them to stay in their space and also be away from the older kids, because it's gonna be harder to keep them contained and content. So K through 6. And the layout for the lesson, I'm thinking, is we'll have a video. Then we'll watch a video with them. So I'll put a TV in that room, and maybe they'll watch Superbook or something that will relate to the lesson. And then they'll have their regular lesson, which will use our same curriculum, and we'll see if we are able to use all of the things from the curriculum. But I think we will be if we can hand them all out separately, and then they don't have to share anything as well. And then they'll do their craft from the lesson as well. And I think that should that should bring us right to the end of service, because service has been about 1 hour and 15 minutes, I'd say. So that should hold us off with them. And then K through 6, they're going to be split up into 4 sections. I mean, we can change the layout of this, but I'm thinking K, kindergarten, 1st and 2nd, 5th and 6th, 3rd and 4th. And so we'll have tables. We have the long rectangle tables, and it'll be 2 people to each table, 1 on each end of the table, so that they'll be as far away as possible, and that'll give them a spot to sit. And so we'll set up all those tables for them. And then the lesson, so there'll be all these tables for each section, and then these sections will probably be cut off by a divider. And then I'm thinking for what we'll do is we'll watch a video with them, maybe Superbook, maybe another thing. I have an account for, it's called Right Now Media, and it's an amazing site where I have every Christian show ever made. So we can definitely find stuff that relates to the lesson. It'll probably take a half an hour for that. And then they can split up back in their groups. They'll already be in their groups, but now they'll all be contained and be with their teacher. And then the teacher will lead from there, and they'll be able to do their lesson, and then either do their craft or their game that is set out by that week's lesson curriculum. And so so that's how the day's gonna go for them. And then leaving. So when they leave, parents are probably gonna come back down through these stairs right here, and these are the stairs that lead up to the lobby. And they'll come right back down here, and then I'm thinking that parents will come down. They'll either walk over here or they'll walk over here. They'll grab their kids, and then they'll come over here, down here, and they'll all exit out this back this back north side door. And then they'll be able to go to the car, or they can leave from this way as well if their car is on this side. That way we have one flow of traffic, and then people aren't walking up the stairs as they're walking down the stairs. I think just less exposure.
Should we put some kind of tape arrows or tape for where they should stand
Yeah, we'll
I
definitely
don't,
make it very visible how this
yeah,
space is laid out. Like people will understand exactly what's happening. Like all
yeah,
of these lines, we'll find out a way to make all of these lines visible in some way, whether it be tape or that the physical divider, but we'll make a way for that to happen. And then this will be sectioned off for the line to get to check-in, and then we'll probably have a table right about here for
mhm.
the for actually the health check-in. That way people aren't waiting on the stairs and come down here and get to it right here. And then here also just is a good thing to look at.
We should
So
put sorry, for check-in, we should put 6 foot apart things so they know how far to
Yeah,
stay away from each other. So
definitely.
I think there is going to be a long line. I think it's gonna
Oh
be
yeah,
bad.
without a doubt.
So I
Without
think
a doubt.
adding that would be helpful. And also for the stairs, when the parents drop off their kids, they'll probably be going down and up those same stairs, right?
Oh yeah, that's a good point. So yeah.
do you need a divider on the stairs?
So
too?
they're not going to go back up these stairs then. They're probably going to come down, the parents when they drop them off, and they'll go
Okay.
right up these side stairs.
Okay.
We're going to have them go up those side stairs.
Okay.
Thanks for bringing that up. I didn't even think of that.
oh, the stairs that are, when you
This-
come in that door,
Yeah,
they'll
the
go up
stairs that
those
lead right
stairs.
to the stage.
Then
Yeah,
are we
okay,
usher upstairs at both doors? Because right now you walk in that one door, they escort
Yeah.
you to your seat.
Yeah, we'll have that. I'll tell Pastor Ray to make sure there's an usher there. That way they can help him find.
oh, yeah, that's a good point, yeah,
And then
yeah,
maybe also I'll talk with my dad as well as Pastor Ray, but maybe we could maybe let parents go first or something when they
when they
end
dismiss,
service. That way
yeah,
people can get downstairs and it'll be less crowded, you know.
That, and I
yeah,
think maybe we could ask them if they could reserve maybe the left side for parents. So when you come up the stairs, you don't have to
True.
worry about not having space.
Sure.
oh, that's a good point, Rachel, that side, yeah, because then they'll just go down those stairs,
Right.
and come up those stairs, rather,
Right.
Yeah.
And so it stays on one side.
yeah,
Write this down so I don't forget. So parents come down, drop off kids, then go up. I'm just gonna call them stage stairs for now.
okay,
Have usher waiting for them. And then
parents will be seated on the north side of the church, which is where your dad sits.
all right, good. Okay, and then last thing is that we just need a couple people that are designated for these specific roles. So we need someone who's designated to deal with any kind of like a nurse, I would say. Like if there's a nosebleed or if something's wrong, they ask that someone be designated for that. Again, it's a little different. These guidelines are set up for whole day programs that these kids are there 8 hours or 5 hours a day, like 5 days a week. But it would be good to have someone designated, even if they're maybe they're teaching a class, but there's two teachers or something. And then we need someone who's designated for the ISO room as well, and that could also be someone who maybe helps teach, or as a helper. They so that class might have two staff members with them. One of those staff members can go and help in the ISO room, and the other can stay and continue teaching the class. And then we need one person designated for check-in, and I'm going to ask one of the youth kids, Andrew, because he's pretty handy with computers, to be in charge of just making sure the computer's working and giving them their tickets. And then also actually need someone who's designated to do the health check-in. So I'm going to leave that blank for now. But if anyone wants to do these things, send me a text message, and we'll make sure you're in there. Also, I just want to say if anyone feels uncomfortable with coming back because of COVID, I totally understand. Just let me know. So I would really appreciate if everyone would just send me a text message saying, yes, I'm on board to continue doing children's church, or I want to take a break because of COVID or whatever it might be. But I'd just like to know who's going to be there. That way we can start making a schedule and laying out who's going to be there each week, so we can have that all set. and have that ready to go. And lastly, we don't know our exact date of comeback. I'm gonna talk with the board as well as my dad as well as the reopening team to see what is the most plausible as well as what is the best for our community. But I'm pretty sure it's gonna be within hopefully the next month. But I'll make sure that I'm on top of that and let you guys know. But yeah, other than that, I just need to know who's coming. So send me a text message and who would like to do either the nurse, the ISO room, or the health check-in. So that's it.
Sounds good.
Perfect. I think that was almost exactly a half an hour. So we won't drag it out.
It's 20 of. That was good.
Alrighty, I'm gonna stop sharing. All right, I'll see you later, Miss Deanna.
All right, see you tomorrow.
See ya.
Bye.
Yep, you guys,
You guys.
bye.